Hi everyone, hope you are having a great day. Well, like Shana introduced me, I will talk to you a bit of the topic of product management and how it intersects with marketing and design. That's two of the subjects that we have here at LSDM. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Levi Faria. I'm a Brazilian from Campinas, the city of Campinas. I graduated in marketing at LSDM and also in industrial engineering at the State University of Campinas here in Brazil. Nowadays, I act as a group product manager at Nomad, a Brazilian fintech that provides international financial services for Brazilians, such as account, cards, and investment options. And here are some places that I have worked in the couple of years. Now today I am at Nomad, but I had experiences in two startups, Nomad in the telemedicine sector, Agorize in the open innovation sector, XP in the financial sector, Zenith in the video production sector, SCs in the technology sector, and also GE, General Electric, in the industrial sector. So I have a couple of different experiences in the previous years, but nowadays I act as a product manager in the technology sector, financial sector, that is the fintech. Okay. So I'd like to begin with the question of what is product management? To begin, we can explore this. Product management is a strategic role that focuses on the end-to-end life cycle of a digital product, as you may study in the classes at LSDM. Every product has its life cycle, but especially for digital products such as applications, services, internal products as well, the product manager role focuses on the end-to-end management of this life cycle of the product. But what does that mean? It involves guiding the development, launch, and ongoing improvement of a product to meet both user needs and business goals. And here I highlighted these two couple of words. That is user needs, because you cannot have a product without a user that you are solving a specific pain, a specific need. But also you can't have a company if it doesn't have a, prof, a product that solves a specific pain point and can be marketable, can be feasible, and you can build a business around it. So it's my role to develop, launch, and improve current products, actually in the financial sector, as I mentioned. And here I got this Venn diagram from the Lenny's letter. I recommend if you're interested in this topic of product management, feel free to follow Lenny. That the jobs of a product management manager consists in shaping the product, in shipping the product, in syncing the people. You shape the product when you discover, and we will talk more about this in the presentation. You discover what type of problem are you solving for who, for whom you are solving for, what are your customers, your users. And once identified that, how can you ship the product? How can you launch the product in the market? And also to do this, we have to sync a lot of people. Our internal team, the developers, the designers, the marketeers, the business people, and also our stakeholders. That can be the business units of our company, the compliance and risk management of our company, the operations team, the CX team. So as a product manager, we have to align all these people in order to shape the product, to ship the product, in order to make impact. And of course, we don't do this alone. We have so much help from our fellow developers, marketeers, and designers. And proceeding, I want to explore more this in this masterclass. How do you build a product and how the design and marketing intersects in the developing of a digital product? So this is a diagram that I borrowed from Alex Cohen, that was a professor of mine in the University of Virginia, that has an excellent course in product management if you're interested. But I brought this here to explain how is the product development cycle and how these all these disciplines that I talked to you about intersects and interact with. So first, you are trying to build a product to solve a problem for a group of people that you can call personas. Identifying the personas is very important because you cannot build a product or a solution for a broad group, a very broad group of people. Your the people who will buy or use your product or solution can be identified and separated in a couple of groups that we can call personas. So for example, Spotify isn't built for everyone, but for those who likes music and likes podcasts and other forms of audio entertainment. If in the beginning of Spotify they wanted to create a product that would solve all the pains of all the customers, it won't get traction. You won't know how to test it, how to validate it, and principally how to scale it. So in the beginning, we have to identify whom are we solving for, and what is the problem that these people are facing, and what are the current alternatives they have today, and how you can propose a new one, a new solution to solve this specific pain problem for this specific group of people. Done that, we can go to the value proposition and assumptions. We can build and iterate and ideate on assumptions, value propositions of how your product will solve this specific pain point. And following this, we can craft customer discovery and experiments in order to validate our previous hypothesis and gain and diminish the risks of feasibility, viability, and the financial risk as well. So doing customer discovery and experiments, you can shape your solution in order to fit the specific problem space that your customers have, right? And after that, validating this, you can proceed with the user stories and prototype building. And this is where you have the major help from our fellow developers and also designers in order to build the most touchable experience of your product, being that an app and hardware, and it's the type of product that you choose. And after that, here is a point of decision. Should we pivot? After we tested, should we pivot and search for another solutions or maybe another problems to solve? Or our tests and hypotheses were validated and now we can escalate. And this escalation phase, the product and promotion, is where our fellow marketeers can help us in planning the go-to-market plans for this product or this solution, as you may like it, and how we can position in the market, how can we adjust the branding, all the marketing plan for this product in order to have a successful launch and adoption and retention. So this is a broad diagram, but it represents a very interesting view of how can we develop digital products. And here are some of the phases that I think are the intersections of the design, marketing, and product management. And this may be the heart of this presentation, because the intersection of product management with design and marketing is basically where the magic happens in our companies. Because design can ensure a seamless and user-friendly experience that makes the product aesthetically pleasing and functionally effective for the end user. And also the marketing crafts compelling stories and strategies to interact, engage, and entertain users And together, these disciplines collaborate to create products that doesn't only solve problems, but also resonate and captivate the intended audience. And I think the synergy of the product management, design, and marketing is crucial for delivering successful and impactful digital products in today's competitive landscape. So if you're studying one of these themes, one of these courses, such as design and marketing, or are very interested in product management, you can know that for sure you have so much space in today's competitive landscape, especially in the technology sector. So, right, now we understand how we build, generally build a product, but how can we identify the right problem to begin with? And to explore this, I brought another diagram from Alex Cohen, from the University of Virginia. And he adapted this from the UK Design Council and the book Design of Everyday Things, that for me it's a must read if you're interested in this topic. So to find the right problem, you may use a couple of frameworks, and two of them that I like the most are the persona hypothesis and the job to be done JTBD hypothesis. With the persona, you can you can ideate for which persona would most beneficiate from your solution. So you can create these personas, explore these personas, make user research with these groups, and also you can map all the interactions, the pain points, the user needs that these people have with the job to be done hypothesis framework. I like especially the job to be done framework because it makes very, very clear for us what are the current solutions that a specific customer segment are using today, what are their needs, and how can we improve upon that? How can we introduce a new solution, a new product that will meet these needs in a better, more cheap, more sustainable way that it has today? Just a quick example. This framework it was very, very useful, specifically in compar- the sharing economy, such as the movement of Uber, Airbnb as well, because the main need of a customer, of a person, it has a phrase that illustrates this very, very clearly. That is, a person may need to put a picture in the wall, but it doesn't need the the nail to do this. They only need the picture stays in the wall. So you can choose to solve this with a nail, a hammer and a nail, but you can also choose this with an adhesive and other solutions. So this opens a very broad spectrum of possibilities with the job to be done hypothesis framework that we can explore upon and identify the main user needs that a customer can have. With this, we can build on the demand hypothesis. What are the current user needs or demands? And with this, we can start testing to find the right solution. We can make usability hypothesis of how your proposed solution will interact with the end user. So with this, we can proceed with an example of a customer journey that is kind of similar of the job to be done framework. And it's very interesting how you can map out all the experience from the customer with the different phases that they use to, for example, buy a product. So first, the customer identifies a need to purchase a specific product, let's say a jar of milk in the supermarket. So the customer identifies this need, they research options on their phone, but they choose to go to the store, they make a purchase, they use the product, They may interact with your company via support, via customer success or customer experience teams. And if your product solves the problem that the customer had, the need, they may repeat the purchase. So this framework is very interesting to us have a clear view, a broad view of all the steps involved in this process of the customer buying a product, and also how the sentiment of the customer goes along with it. So first, it begins with the identification of a need. It it also follows with the it was difficult to compare options on my phone. It's a pain point from the customer. The store was pleasant to visit. There was a discovery of the customer of this process, what the customer likes or enjoys the most. The cashier wasn't helpful. This is a pain point. So this is very, very nice. So own you can put here every interaction of a user may have with a current problem nowadays. And interesting is to map out the pain points and the points of happiness of the customer. So in this example, it was difficult to compare options to the phone, and the cashier wasn't helpful, are the pain points. But the store being pleasant to visit, the pricing being right, the support being useful was the happy moments that you can iterate and intensify upon to improve even better the experience of the customer has with the interaction of your product or your service. So it's a very interesting framework for that. Customer journey framework. And also in the design phase, in the design interaction in the product life cycle, I brought here a very interesting diagram from IDEO. IDEO is a school of design where its founders were the creators of the design thinking model. And I brought it here so we can use it to understand a little bit better how the process of the design can work with the discovery of problems. So we can discover these problems and create solutions and products for it. And how can we use also this framework to converge from a broad spectrum to a more narrow one, so we can test, build, and ship to market products and solutions that really make sense, that really are have less risk upon it. So IDEO believes that the key to figuring out what humans really want lies in two things. That is to observe the user behavior and put yourself and experiment, be empathetic with the situation of the end user. For me, this is done by using my product, the account and card investment options that my company Nomad has, and using it every day and much very times a day. Because when you're experimenting your own product, you're experimenting the possible scenarios that your customers may have. So when you try, for my example, to use a card and it doesn't work in the restaurant or a store, you can feel the pain of your user when it happens with them. And now you can have a more empathetic view of how your user, your customer are interacting with your product. And this can help you illustrate and open up spaces for you to improve your product even better, or even to create solutions around your product that wasn't there when you first started. So talking more a little bit more this example, this framework from IDEO is divided in three main spaces: the inspiration space, the ideation space, and the implementation space. And we call it spaces because and not steps, because it doesn't need specifically to be done one after the other. In each space, you can it isn't a straight line. Speaking this way, So you can iterate, go back in one space, and after that move to another. It isn't linear, saying that. And with these spaces, the inspiration is a means of open up the opportunity space and the problem space through research activities. So you can map out the problems of the customer, do research with your users, make a synthesis of all this research, all this problem identification, and now your conversion, as you can see with this line approaching each other, because we started with a broad space of the problem, and now we have learned and converged to a more narrow one space, and now we know which problems are there and which one we want to focus on. And with this, we proceed with the ideation space. That is a process of generating, developing, and testing ideas. So now that I selected my problem, converging to a problem, now I can diverge to possible solutions, build prototypes, and also test these prototypes before going to the implementation space, where is the path that leads from the project stage to the people's lives. Is the market phase. Is where you put your app in the Apple Store or the App Store from Apple. Is where you put your hardware product in the stores, where you contact the first users. This is the real life, the implementation phase. And in order for you to go to the real life, to the implementation space, to the market space, you need to go there with less risks as possible. And one of our jobs as product managers or product designers or marketeers is using these frameworks, using these steps, is to reduce the risks of a product or solution not being worthwhile, not being feasible, viable, or having much financial risks or risks of adoption. So this is a very tangible thing. So you can see all the work done here is to ensure that your end customer gets a solution that they need, they can buy, they want, and they can go back to buying again and again and using again and again. And with this, you can build a successful business upon it. Okay. And now we get to the relationship between the marketing and product management. I brought here a Venn diagram illustrating what are the main functions of jobs of a product manager on the left and a product marketing manager or a marketing person on the right. While the product manager focuses more on features, on functions, on prioritizing which tasks needs to be made by the development or the design team, and also drawing the internal roadmap, the marketing person may focus on more a broad spectrum of of these, such as corporate strategy and analysis, marketing needs, competitive intelligence, pricing model, branding, external value proposition, external value messaging. But they intersect and they can work together. And it's specifically good they work together to ensure a more cohesive way of doing things in the company. In the themes that are the pricing, cost structure, the external roadmap, how can I communicate to the market, what features or solutions I am building on that will be launched in the future, the product strategy, what is the end game for my product, my solution, do competitive analysis, benchmark analysis, make demos. So this is a little bit of the interaction between the marketeers or the product marketing managers with the product managers in the product lifecycle management. Okay, so we are almost there in the end of this meeting, but before we go to the Q&A, I'd like to propose a case study that I brought here from my current company, Nomad, where we will see how can these frameworks and steps be applied in a real life situation, and how we did that in Nomad. Well, proceeding here, just to make a brief introduction, Nomad is a fintech, a Brazilian fintech that provides basically a banking account, a remittance account, and investment account for Brazilians. So that means with this app, this account, you can buy dollars more cheaply than our competitors and use these dollars via your virtual card or physical card in stores in more than 185 countries around the world. So this is our main solution for this market. And in order for a user to have a account with us, they need to go through a lot of steps. The sign up step, where they give us the registration data, such as a name, email, telephone, ID number, password. And after that, the user can needs to go to a KYC validation. KYC stands for Know Your Customer. That is a series of steps and validations and informations that you collect from your customer in order to validate that it's a real person, the person is alive, and other anti-fraud and anti-money laundering validations. So you can assure only the people that are good for business, that are compliant with their regulations, can access this account. After that, we submit all the informations to three partners, one in Brazil and two international partners. And if everything goes well, you have an account to where you can convert dollars and use the card and investments account. So this is the main process that we had in mind. So what was the problem? The problem was that the duration of the account opening process was more than 24 hours between the first step and the last one. This means you know about Nomad today, you download the app. If you go to all these steps, the KYC validation, sends your photo, sends your selfie, all the informations, you only would have an account in about 1 to 2 days before that, after that. And this is very bad for the business because you want your customers to see an advertisement from Nomad, to download the app, and almost instantaneously have being able to use the account to put dollars to spend. So this was a very high duration time, and was accompanied by high drop-off rates. That is the customers that doesn't complete the process. The customer may start, do they sign up, do a part of the KYC validation, but if they don't complete all the steps, they doesn't have an account. So it's very bad for us. Also because we spend money, the marketing phase, the acquiring phase, and also in these sign up KYC validations. So it's only worthwhile if we can onboard completely the user. So what was the process that I used to tackle this problem? First, we started with the problem discovery, where the customer's journey mapping was used. I mapped out all the process, all the points of interaction, and all the sentiments, pain points, and happy moments the customers had in this process. We did research with customers and also data analysis with all the data we have from this process. The conversion rates, the ticket rates, the CX tickets also. And with this problem discovery, we select a specific problem to work upon, and we identify the main cause of the problem. So with this in mind, we could go to the next phase, that is the solution discovery. Now that I discovered what problem I want to solve for, now I have to discover what are the solutions and which one I will prioritize. So for Mark, with the top players in the market, we run batch tests with several providers for KYC validations. We did collection and data analysis, pricing and cost forecasts, because changing the QAC partner that does all the validations involves a lot of money. With this, we have had to do a presentation to the board, negotiation with this partner, so we can agree to a good financial number for Nomad. And after that, the contract signing. So identify the problem, identify the solution, and now we have to build the solution for the end user. Because all we did that way was selecting which will be the solution that we can agree upon. And now with user stories and prototypes, we worked close with the design and the development teams to create an optimized experience for the account opening process. Focus on making this experience user-friendly, easy to use, easy to complete, and also doing process automations that will simplify and optimize all this KYC SNI process for the end user. And the impact was very, very nice. We had a reduction of almost 100% the account opening duration, going from 24 hours to 5 minutes for about 90% of the clients. Almost 9 in 10 clients has an account of Nomad in less than 5 minutes. We also reduced the drop-off rates by more than 10%, and we had an increase of 10% in the conversion rate to open accounts. So this is very, very good win for us. And as you can see, we can apply all these principles from marketing, from design, and from product management in real-world situations. And to illustrate better, using this framework that I presented you in the beginning of this presentation, we began understanding the customer, finding the right problem, making and testing, that is the lean startup phases of this diagram. And after that, we collaborated with design and dev team and also the marketing team in order to build and ship the solution. So with this, I end my presentation. Thank you very much for your interest. Now we're open to questions. Do you have any?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Levi, for your presentation. We will now open, as you said, the session for a bit of a Q&A, or if anyone has any comments, feel free to open your mics.
I believe that everybody is a little bit shy, so I will open the hostilities here. Thank you, Levi. Thank you, Levi, for your presentation, and thank you for sharing your experience here today. I would like to remind you that as Levi stated at the beginning, he has a degree in engineering and in marketing, so it has the two stones, the two basic stones here. When we are talking about developing a product, a digital product, but it could be in a physical product or a service or whatever. And the framework that Levi showed, it's basically the same, from the idea, from one idea. You can start. Levi in the case study stated the problem they needed to solve, and then they went from there and following the diagram. But for all of you that are out there and that are listening, you can use this to start a business or develop a new product by thinking, what problem do I want to solve to get my clients, to retain my clients, or what problem does my product or service have or doesn't have, or something that some problem that you want to solve. And all those steps that Levi stated are basically that: identifying the problem, and then the design, the mix or the blend with the design, prototyping, testing, contractual things, etc., the market test, and all of this. It's come here from the the main topic that was from the idea to experience. And this workflow, this was about a fintech, and thank you, Levi, for the for the case for the real case study that you presented, because this shows our students and everybody that is watching us the real application of things. Because sometimes when you are learning theoretical models, you think, okay, this is nice, but this is not applicable. But when you have a problem, if you follow the framework and you follow the things that were already thought and experienced and then experimented and tested, it makes sense. And then when you got back at the end of your presentation to the beginner, to the initial framework, and how it helped to solve the problem, make things more make I think that it made things more clear for real life application of the product development and problem solving, because this is product development dash problem solving. Okay. So thank you.
My pleasure, Manuel.
Thank you, Professor. I don't know if anyone wants to comment or wants to ask any questions. Okay, we have a question here in the chat. I'm going to read it out. So Douglas says, maybe you could tell us a bit on the methods and tools you use to map out pain points, friction, and so on while gathering sufficient data.
Perfect. So Douglas, here going back to our case study. With the problem discovery, I used the customer journey mapping. I did research with current users. So we enter in contact with those users. We ask them questions, run research with them. And this was more a qualitative bit of this research. For the quantitative bit, we did data analysis, because here at Nomad we have so much data entry points, such as how many users enters by an advertisement, from this advertisement to the sign up, how many users go through the process of this funnel, of this onboarding funnel, how many drop-offs, in which screen they drop off, what is the time, what is the segmentation of these users. So this were the methods we used. And to identify, to pinpoint the specific problem, we run tests with another KYC providers. And you can see we identified our current KYC provider at the time. The company that does the validations for us hadn't a good performance. So based on that, exploring all this process mapping, this empathy mapping, research, data analysis, our proposed solution was we have to change this provider. And with this, we benchmarked the players, did tests with a lot of them, and selected the right one. And via batch testing, that's where you select a group of people in your user database, and submit the same amount of data to a variety of providers. So you can compare the performance of each one and choose which is the best for you. So to map out the pain point and the friction was the process mapping. To pinpoint the solution was via testing, the testing phase.
Thank you. We have another question here by Miriam. She asks, which phase do you think had more impact in the process of finding a solution to the problem of your project, Nomad?
Most impact, I think it was two of them. I think the main one was analyzing the data. When you have a clear view of this process, the data that showed us the high drop-off rates, the high time during these processes, the high frequency that our previous KYC provider returned the reports without a verification, there we could see which was the problem. And of course, the solution, the proposed solution. But this may be the most exact way to find it, but it was very, very important, the research with real users to collaborate in this process of finding a solution. Without talking to your users, without seeing what's out there, without the empathy you have to have with your users, we couldn't reach this assertive solution that was very assertive in my opinion. So I think this data analysis and after that confirm with your research with real users.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if anyone has any more questions or any more comments. I'm going to, in the meantime, if anyone has anything, you can just write it. But in the meantime, I want to thank you, Levi, for being here with us today. Thank you for sharing your insights with us. I think it's been a very insightful time and a very interesting time. So thank you. And I believe we have no more questions, no more comments. So I think we can finish this masterclass here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for being here. And thank you once again, Levi, for accepting also our invitation. I hope to see you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
I hope to see you all again soon, perhaps in another masterclass. And thank you. And I hope you all have a great day.